Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. Today we're going to be talking about interview tips and just things you should know if you're going to apply for a job, just some things that I've learned. So I want to give you some advice about it because I know we all want to make some money, especially when, you're 15, 16 looking for that job. So I'm just going to give you some of my personal experience and some advice on it, so let's go ahead and get started. So most of the time I'm pretty sure you have to be around 15 or 16 before you can legally get a job, and I think it'll take taxes out and stuff and all that stuff. But yeah, so I'm just going to give a little background like I normally do. So I was probably about 16, I think, whenever I was applying for a bunch of different jobs, and I was like, why am I not hearing back? And then people were telling me, you have to call them, you have to sound interested, and I was like, okay, and I did that, and it wasn't ever, very successful. So some things that I learned was that they do look at your application, but a lot of times, you have to have experience, which is very difficult, especially, when you want a job, but like you don't have experience, and they want experience but you can't get it, so that's kind of not really fun. But there's ways to get jobs, because I got a job last year and I'm going to kind of tell you the story about that. But what I want to tell you is, before you apply for jobs, make sure that you're gonna love that job. And I know it's kind of hard to determine that, ahead of time, but I mean, like, depending on, like, if you like kids or something, try to get a job with kids. Or if you, love clothes and everything, try to get in your area that you think you're gonna love, and do what makes you happy. Because you don't want to be, I know you have to make money in life, but like, don't force yourself to be at a sucky job that you hate, that is not good for your health, and you're just like, oh, I have to go to work today. Because I do not think that's right, that you should have to feel that way, and you should not feel that way. So find a job that you think you're gonna love and apply for that. Don't just apply to a bunch of places just because you need money, because it's gonna hurt you. And I know you need money, because I know a lot of people, like, I needed money, but I just could not put myself in a position that I hated, and it was going to be bad and harmful to myself. Because in life you have to, I know you have to make tough decisions, but like, you have to love your job. Like, and it's super hard to love your job, but like, it's going to benefit you in the long run, and you're going to be so much more happy if you love it. Okay, so I want to talk about a situation that happened last year. I already had a job and everything, and I absolutely love my job now. It is the job that I've had. This is my second year doing it, and I absolutely love the job. But I was like, hey, I want extra income, so I'm gonna, get another part-time job. So I'll have 2 part-time jobs. So I was like, this is gonna be great. I started applying places, and then I was like, oh cool, the movie theater. So I reapplied there, because I figured, oh hey, I have this other job, they're gonna totally hire me because they can, get references from my job. So, all that is all cool. They call me, they say they want to do an interview. I'm like, cool, that's awesome, because like, the movie theater, who doesn't want to work at the movie theater? Like, free popcorn, free movies, all that stuff. I thought that it was so great. Well, so I get an interview and everything, and all that stuff goes through, and then she's like, okay, cool. Like, she calls back, it was like a week later, and she was like, yeah, you got the job, congrats, all this stuff, come in for this and training and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, great, awesome, I can't believe I got the job. Like, I was so happy. And then a bunch of other stuff happened, and I did my training, and it was cool and everything, but I realized that I hated that job. And the problem was I was getting paid above minimum wage at my other job, so I had went down, and I didn't really mind it. Like, it was still going to give me extra income on top of my other job, but I realized that the stuff you are required to do at the movie theater is not worth minimum wage. Like, you should literally get like $12 or something for working in the movie theater, because there's just so much stuff, and it's tedious and everything. And just, especially, I never got training in the concession because I had to leave the job before it got worse. But like, I couldn't even imagine how much stress that is over there. But honestly, I'm just telling you, because I found out that the first week and a half that I worked there, that I just hated it. I did not want to be in that atmosphere. And a lot of my other coworkers, they were guys, and I know that that's not really that big of a deal, but to me it was, because everyone else there was a couple other girls, they were saying, hey, like they're gonna try to hit on you and everything, and I was like, I just did not feel comfortable with that, and I didn't want to put myself in that atmosphere. And I mean, I know how to stand up for myself, but it's just that the whole situation I hated, and I did not want to put myself in that position where, like, yeah, I did need money, but it just wasn't worth it to me. And I decided that I'm just gonna get some other side jobs, and I would have preferred that. Like, I preferred that than forcing myself to like work in that atmosphere. Like, I mean, yeah, the benefits were kind of cool, like, free movies and popcorn, but I already felt like I was gonna get tired. And people say that, like, if they work in the movie theater, they get tired of going there. Like, you don't want to go back. Like, people just they don't want to go back and be in their work atmosphere and everything as a day off. So I totally completely understood that, and I just had to talk to him, and I had to tell him what was up, and I was just honest about it. And they were like, okay, cool, like, I don't recommend you doing that, honestly. Like, that's why I'm giving you the warning. Like, the advice before is really find a job you're gonna love before you have to be like, oh, I really hate this job and I want out of it. So yeah, that's just that's just a little story that happened in my life, and I want to share it with you guys because it's a personal experience, and I don't want you guys to have to go through that and anything. Like, it's not bad to go through it, and it gave me experience, but I want to share that experience with you. So I want to give you guys some interview tips. So I've gone through countless interviews, and I just want to say that it's okay if half the people say no to you, because I got no's, and then finally there was a yes right around the corner at the movie theater. So going through interviews, it's not scary, I promise. Like, the first couple I did were kind of nerve-wracking, but honestly my background in pageantry and like the skills that I learned from my pageants of interview, it made me realize that you're literally just talking to someone. Like, they just want to know about you, and that's how I look at it whenever I interview at a pageant, is because the judges just want to know you. And it's like, whenever you meet someone, like, y'all just want to know each other. So you just have to go in with the mindset that they just want to get to know you, because they want to know if you're going to be a good fit in the company or wherever you're applying for. So you just have to come in, like, be yourself. Like, if you laugh and stuff, like, don't overdo it, but just be like warm and welcoming, and like if you want this job, not tell them directly that you want it, but show them that you're a good fit, you have what it takes, and you're gonna work hard. That is important. And eye contact, that is very important. And just, it's okay. Like, what sometimes kind of gets me kind of upset in pageantry is when people, like the judges, like, they really don't want you to say or like or stuff. But honestly, if you're just talking and you keep going and you might say or like or whatever, just in your interview, it's okay. You can still be well spoken. Sometimes the words just don't exactly come to you right then, and it's okay, I promise you. So don't think that your speech has to be perfect. And another thing I would recommend is just, practice some interview questions so you get comfortable answering questions, because sometimes they can be kind of like, what kind of question is that? Or like, you're just like, oh, I don't know, like a kind of response for that. But just, even if you don't know the answer, just be honest about it, because they just want you to be honest and open. So being honest that, like, I just don't know the answer. Like, don't necessarily apologize, but just be honest with them, because they want honesty. And some other things that I would kind of include into this is dress over the top. Like, not over the top, but like dress like to impress, because it's okay if you're going to like some, like, I don't know what, I can't really say a feed store, but like if there's a difference between, like Macy's and like another, like maybe a local store, maybe, I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but like, it's okay to overdo it. Like, if you're gonna go to a restaurant like McDonald's, I guess, McDonald's and Dillard's, wear the same thing that you're gonna wear to Dillard's, because it's impressive, and it makes the employer like, hey, I want you, you dress pretty cool. Okay, I'm totally kidding, but like, it makes you look like you want this job, like you want this job. So I would just recommend, wearing stuff that, that makes you look a little bit more professional than, just jeans or something. And jeans are totally fine, like, if they're nice, but I just wouldn't recommend wearing shorts or like, tore up jeans or something like that. Another piece of advice that I have for you is to do your research about the place that you're wanting to be an employee at, because you need to have a little background, and you need to also know, is this a good fit for you? Like, if that's where you want to be, and you want to be there, a while, like, you have to really look into these things. And sometimes they ask you questions like, oh, well, we have this type of thing, like, I believe I got interviewed at Minchie's, and they asked me, like, or no, they referred they referred to the smile train, or I might have in my, because I had did my research, so I referred to it in one of my answers. So I feel like that is where, you know, you can get kind of like they'll be like, oh, hey, she actually looked up some information about the company, and like I didn't even say anything about that. So sometimes it makes you look like really impressive whenever you know stuff about companies and everything, especially, you know, if you want to work there. Also, something that I struggled with a lot was the fact that I remember at Minchie's, the guy had said, you know, like he wanted me to come back and everything, like he was super, like, you know, he was like, hey, I'm really interested in you and everything, and I was like, okay, cool, like I'm excited for this. But then I had emailed him back, like, because he never responded, and like I think a week after my second interview, and I was just checking in, you know, being, you know, very, hey, I want this job, hello, where are you? And he's like, oh, sorry, you know, you were good, but I chose someone else. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I had told like a lot of people, I was like, wow, I felt like my interview went good. Like, I felt so good after that interview. That was like my favorite interview ever. And like, I just felt so confident, and he had said, you know, you're great, you know, we'd love to have you, type of, like, that's what I was getting at. And then, you know, he tells me that, and I'm like, oh, what? You told me no? Okay. Like, I was like, what do I do? Like, what did I do wrong? Like, did I answer something wrong? But honestly, it just really depends on the employer. Like, it's okay if they tell you no. I had to learn to accept that, and the fact that, you know, they told me no is awesome, because maybe God was, you know, protecting me from something potentially harmful, like I said in my last video. And also something that I needed to understand was I was gaining so much experience from all these interviews. Like, it's awesome how much experience you gain from interviews. You get the experience. Just know that it's totally okay if people tell you no. You're gonna gain experience, you're gonna meet people, and it's like you're getting, you know, experience like under your belt, which is good, because it's gonna make you even more interesting for the next interview. Like, I promise you, you become more confident, and you just, you know, you show that, you know, you're ready, you got this, and that's really, you know, impressive, especially, you know, especially if you're gonna apply all these things to, if you're looking for a job at 15 or 16, like, they're gonna be like, wow, you're only 16 and you're like this confident and everything. Like, it's really impressive, I promise you. So I hope that all these things are kind of helpful, or it just gives you more insight on, you know, how to approach interview situations and job situations. Anyways, I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. I love you, and be happy.